Well, all right. So, hey y'all. And welcome back to Love 24 Hours here, where we watch videos to help brighten our day or add a little enlightenment to our day or help raise our consciousness or our awareness. Listen, y'all. I'm sorry. I may sound a little different. Maybe I don't to y'all, but I feel like I sound different. I'm just tired, yo, which is why I didn't post yesterday. I took the whole day off, and believe it or not, it was hard for me. It was very hard for me. Uh, yeah. So listen, so I feel a little like drained. I don't know what's going on. I feel a little exhausted. But anyway, um, there was two questions in the comments before we get to the shout outs, of course, that I saw that I wanted to answer real quick. So the first question I saw was like, why you don't see like the TikTokers names? Well, all the videos, they don't come from TikTok, so they're coming from multiple platforms, and they're pretty much coming from all over the place that I pretty much gather and make into a video. And my OCD is not having it as far as having all the different things going on, because they come from different platforms. You'll see different icons and this and that. It's just really like all over the place. Well, it feels all over the place to me. But anyway, so I just have the video instead of all the other stuff. And a lot of times I'm getting it from people who are reposting too. So the actual creator, their name is not always like on there either. So yeah, I just decided to just post the video itself. To make it things look, a little bit more clean and neat. So yeah. Now as far as the question number 2 for the podcast, I don't even know if I said that right, y'all. I'm out of it. I'm just trying to make sure I provide y'all with content today. To be very, very honest, like I'm a little out of it. So excuse me. So yeah. So as far as the question I saw, I think it was Patrick. Patrick, I think you asked about the podcast. But yeah, so as far as like being a guest on the podcast, what'll happen is pretty much like you can just email me or hit me up on Instagram and let me know that you want to be a guest, and then I'll give you my business line and we'll talk on the phone about it. Just make sure you're fully comfortable with the questions I may ask you or the topic that I may ask you about, or whatever the case may be. Now after that, then the platform I use, they have it where you can just download the app or whatever, and it'll link us together, and so we can record an episode together like that. And I actually tried it, and we had some malfunctions, so I may have to hold off from guests, but still let me know if you're interested so I can go ahead and just set that up and talk to you and things like that. But yeah, so it may be a little bit more time before I actually have guests on there anyway. I just wanted to go ahead and iron those things out, just in case we had like what we had today, which we had some malfunctions. But anywho, so we're gonna jump straight into the shout outs, guys. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all patience. Like today is just one of them days. I don't know if the energy's changing, if it's supposed to be, because y'all know me. I need to do better when it comes down to energies and the astrology and all this other stuff. So it may be some planet changes or something. I don't know. I just feel kind of drained, y'all. Okay, so first shout out goes to, is it Frida? Fredia? I think it's Frida, Fredia Willis. Thank you so very much. Welcome to the Love Drive. We're awesome around here. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your comment. Thank you so very much. I really do. I'm so grateful for y'all, like, for real, for real. Next shout out goes to Everything Woke. I like that, how you got the 3 instead of the E. Like, I like little stuff like that. Little stuff like that just brings me joy. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, and I saw that you've been also sharing the video. Thank you for sharing that video. I appreciate you for spreading the positivity and the love. Thank you. Next shout out goes to Queen Mo. Thank you. I appreciate you. I love the vibes. Okay. And next shout out goes to Journal of Destin. I don't know if that's supposed to mean. Okay. I'm not I'm not gonna ask the question. It's supposed to be Destiny, ain't it? But I don't know. Hey, that is not for me to, I don't. Hey, it is what it is. Okay, you were the one that asked about the TikToker's name. So shout out to you, Journal of Destiny. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I told you I was a little out of it. But that has nothing to do with me being, you know what, that's a lie. That has nothing to do with me being out of it. That's just because I'm weird and I paint pictures, like I said, when I read. And so I had a whole nother picture painted. That's not your fault. Okay, so next shout out, y'all. Next shout out. Okay, so next shout out. And I cut it off here because I knew the intro was going to be kind of long. So I decided not to do as many shout outs this time. But last shout out goes to Ashley J. and Perfectly Perfect. I hope I pronounced Ashley J right. I hope I did. And you look lovely on your profile picture. Oh my goodness. I'm feeling the vibe. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Love Tribe, for all the love and the support. And I'm very grateful. I'm forever grateful for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Cat Williams is the one who told me this. Once you get rid of your desperation, you're gonna blow up. And I was like, you, I'm desperate because I'm broke. He said, no, you just don't have no money. You have talent though. Money. And you need to start making your decisions from your talent. From your talent, not your desperation.
Was I desperate for 40 years too? Yes, I was.
People are asking me, how do you explain all the energy from the atmospheric antennas related to electroculture? Here is a great example. This is copper with a battery and some magnets. And what you see here is the spin that's always occurring the entire time. And when you're placing these atmospheric antennas into the soil that are with copper, that's what you're creating, the exact same thing. You're creating a spin, a vortex, right? You're changing the magnetism of that area so that you can enhance your yields and grow larger food and also start to yield more food over time. The magic is Victor Schauberger determined all this back in the 1940s. So if we go back in time and look at Victor Schauberger's work, he showed that when you use copper into the soil, copper-rich soils retain their moisture very well, and he began to experiment with them because he yielded 17 to 35% increases in his harvest. That's the magic of copper. Now, the only reason we were never told about copper was because the fact that back in the day, representatives from the local agriculture society started to warn farmers against the use of copper as it could cause the overproduction, which would lower their prices. Meaning that if they use copper plows and all of the copper and electroculture that we are using today, they would have too much food and not make enough money. Think about that logic. So when you create these antennas and you start placing these into your garden, you'll start to notice your plants will grow faster. You'll start to yield more food. Your plants will be bigger, right? You will get bigger food, like tomatoes that are maybe 2-3 times the size, potatoes that are 2-3 times the size. You'll start to notice that you'll have more bees come around. You'll have more insects. You'll have more birds. Your whole entire area will begin to change because you're increasing the magnetism. What's happening now is with all these cell phone towers and antennas and all this other nonsense that they're rolling out, it's impacting our soil and decimating the magnetism of that area. So it starts to deaden the soil and the soil becomes dry. But it's crazy because when you look at all of this, we could be yielding so much food, and that's what they were doing back in the day.
One of the things that people might want to know who are listening is that if you have a memory that's older than about 18 months and it haunts you, and when it comes up involuntarily, it produces a stress reaction. What that means is that as far as your nervous system is concerned, and so as far as your body's concerned, that danger hasn't gone away. And what's happening is an unconscious alarm system that's looking for pitfalls and holes is warning you that the map that you're using is incomplete in a manner that might enable you to fall into the same hole. And so one of the things that people can do that's very useful is, if you have memories like that plague you, is to bring them to mind voluntarily instead of waiting for them to come after you involuntarily, and then to think through what has changed and what might not have, but also to come up with a plan so that if a similar circumstance arose, you'd be in a better position in one way or another to deal with it.
No. That natural iron. Burdock. Natural iron. You know what I'm saying? For yourself.
Listen, so I don't know about y'all, but now I'm starting to wonder, like, hold on, what I got growing in my backyard? Because Because that looks familiar. Okay, so I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I need to go ahead and download that little plant app. You know, the little plant identifier. I think I'm going to go ahead and download one of them. Yeah, and go see what I got in my backyard. Because what the, like, WTF? Like, I think I got that in my backyard. Yeah, so I'm going to give y'all an update on that one, I think, if I remember. Maybe, hopefully. On to the next one.
Excessive overthinking is usually a trauma response to a childhood where you were criticized too much and had to analyze everything you do just to feel accepted by your parents. To avoid being told off by your parents, to keep the peace in a chaotic home, you learn to be hypervigilant, to read their energy, to predict all the possible outcomes, to create some level of safety for yourself. But the irony here is that overthinking is a deeply unsafe thing to do. It sends the signal to your system that you do not trust yourself or the process of your life. Because you're disconnected from your intuition, you'll feel like you're not enough. So you become a stressed out career chaser trying to prove yourself, an anxious people pleaser, an emotional eater who struggles to lose weight, reacting as an adult as the confused and scared child that you once were. Teach your inner child that you're loved, you're good enough, and you are safe to relax. Everything will change.
I'm gonna be real with y'all right now. Bro, it was like a month ago. Things were so heavy, maybe like 2 months ago, 2 months. Yo, life was lifing. Denzel, life was lifing. Bruh. Oh, life was so heavy. Man, I was just going around places. And let me tell you why. I pulled up to the church, pulled up to the grocery store, I pulled up to some homies. What's crazy, all I really wanted was a hug. If somebody would have hugged me, I don't care who it was, if one person would have hugged me, I would have broke down crying. That's how heavy I felt. That's how fragile I felt. If somebody would have hugged me, I would have broke down crying. A nigga was hurting. And it's one of those things where it's like, sometimes as men and women, we're not in a place to talk about it yet, but we just still need, like, we're crying out for help without crying out for help. So sometimes even if I see, like, I hug people all the time now, because it's like, yo, you might just need a hug. You might not say it, but you might need a hug. So I say all that to say, bro, I remember that week, I was just like, yo, I just need a hug, dog. I never wanted a hug so bad in my life. Straight up.
The lemon girl? The lemon girl. The glitch in the Matrix that happened?
No, what?
Yo, this is crazy. Listen to this, Lo. This chick was working at a restaurant. There's a camera on her, right?
Yeah.
She takes a lemon. She cuts it in half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Puts that half down, puts that half down. Takes a knife again. Cuts this half in half. You see it go through the lemon.
Yeah.
Out. She walks away. She comes back. The camera hasn't moved. Picks up that lemon, and it wasn't cut. And she went like... And she cut it again and put it in a bag. And then she got the video. She's like, I cut it.
Yeah.
She's like, how was it together again?
That it would trip me out so much.
And she's like, this is a glitch in the Matrix, man. And she started doing all these posts on TikTok. Her TikTok got banned.
Why? Are you serious?
They said it was because of her age, that because she was 16 and like wasn't allowed to have a TikTok.
Wait.
And then she's like, what? And so she got on her mom's TikTok and started talking about it again. Her mom's TikTok got banned.
What does that mean? Maybe like she's living like the Truman Show kind of thing, where she's like under an experiment, being raised by the FBI and they're testing things on her or something.
It freaked me out.
From the creator, original people. We don't come from Africa. We don't come from Kemet. We don't come from none of that. Those are baby places. Those civilizations are young. When I say young, we talking about 6,000. Even if we give them benefit of the doubt, 10,000 years. But the planet's been here far longer than that. The original man has been on the planet so long that no one knows his record.
That's real.
We don't come from here. We come to here.
That's what I was going to say.
To straighten things out. And to go through situations to show forth and prove the greatness we are of a people. By having someone other than ourselves rule us and destroy us. And then we rise from the dead and come back into power. Only one can do that is the true and living God. And when I say God, I'm using the English word.
I'm glad you covered that too.
To describe the universal power that be. Because no matter where you go on Earth, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet, you find us, that one of color, of melanin. So I'm not caught up in no particulars. This is why we say original man, and we emphasize the O, because the O or the zero is 360 degrees, which means everything comes out of there, even the one. The zero turns sideways, shows you a straight line, which is the one. They try to have you believe that the zero means nothing. But if it means nothing, why you want all zeros at the end of your bank account? You can't get 10, 100, 1,000, 100,000, millions, billions, or trillions without them zeros. And we the zero.
I feel like zero represents all potential.
All that is and will ever be. And that which is not can never be. So we don't waste time in trying to find when did we start as a people. You can't find when we started as a people, because time has only been kept and used as a tool.
Measurement, you're right.
For the past 76 quintillion years.
I don't even know how long that number is, quintillion. I know it's a huge number though.
If we ask the weight of the planet Earth, which is 6 sectillion tons, followed by a unit of 21 ciphers, 21 zeros.
6 sectillion tons followed by 21 zeros. That's the weight of the Earth.
Right.
Wow.
And the devil will show you the mathematical science of how to measure the weight of the Earth.
How would they do that? Measuring the atom, right? Weight of an atom. Ah, nice. Nice. I got that from reading some of Blackroot's science. As above, so below. Atoms are just like star systems. The elements.
And the first atom, which came out of triple darkness, was propelled or pushed or set into motion by a thought.
Yep.
They have nothing that travels at the speed of thought, which is 24 billion miles per second, and that's on an average. And thought originates from the mind. What is the mind? When we look up the mind, the word man means mind, M-I-N-D, not dick and nuts. A man is not one who is responsible to take care of his family, or those are things he do. But what he is the mind, and it's the mind that originates or creates all these things that we see around us.
Yeah. I like how you broke that down.
You understand? So until we begin to get back into the idea of studying proper knowledge, all knowledge is out here. But as a people, there is a particular degree of knowledge that's useful for us to stand on. Because you got to remember, we've been stripped of everything. So we got to be brought back into self. So when we entertain space, we don't look out there. We look in here. Because as above, so below. Everything out there is in here.
And I also know that we're spirit beings having a human experience. I strongly know that.
And the only way you can recognize the spirit is if it has a body.
I like that. To get that experience from, to act out those thoughts.
So we don't get caught up in this illusion of not seeing. We don't look at shit. Looking means you're still in the process of figuring it out. But when you see something, you know it. It's like we don't listen to nothing. We hear and obey.
Yo, on point.
You understand? So it's about being self, not because we are depicted as ex-slaves and fucked up. We don't throw none of ourselves away to become somebody else. Because at the end of the day, everybody is coming to America to see you, black man. More people come here to see you than they go to Egypt to see the pyramids. Why? Because you the master builder. Who's built anything over there since we've been gone?
That's very true.
No one. Everything we play with, that camera, the cell phones and all of that, we designed all of this.
Exactly.
This is based off your eyes. You can't get the film until you go into darkness.
Yeah.
So it's all about us, God.
Always about us.
But we got to study and qualify for our position. And right now, most of us is in the way. Because we don't want to pick up off the shoulders of those who have laid the foundation in the work before us.
The elders, yeah. We need to, though.
We want to disrespect that and act like we coming up with something new. You must not have understood that there's nothing new under the sun. That one Jesus said, he who knows himself knows his Lord. The word Lord means teacher.
He who knows himself knows the teacher.
You're not going to find a master teacher until you master yourself. Because things that are alike attract each other. Masters attract masters. Fools attract fools. So, which side of the path is one on? We don't take neither side. We stay in the middle. By staying in the middle, we're going to experience everything and have a knowledge of everything, but we're not caught up in either one.
Soldiers, you don't that's your motherfucking problem right there. Look you at don't get to give up. You don't get to give up. I'm tired. You keep putting me on the motherfucking front line like I'm a fucking you're a warrior. You are a warrior. I'm a human being, bitch. Don't curse. Don't curse. You know what? Didn't I let you get through 2021? That doesn't matter. It does matter. No, it does. I'm tired, God. You beating the shit out of me this year. You think it's you up there having with the fruits and the motherfucking peace and shit. I'm down here fucking fighting for my fucking life. Don't I always show up for you? You do show up after I'm almost long gone. No.
Oh my goodness. Listen, now this is an old one. Whew. But anytime I just need a little pick me up, I watch it, yo. Like that tickles me because let me tell you something. If you haven't gotten to this stage yet, you might, I don't know, some people tend to have I don't think it's like that for everybody in their spiritual way, because some people may have a little grace here and there, you know, and they won't allow themselves to get this deep into it, but I've been there. Well, you talking to your higher self, the universe, God, whichever way you want to go with it or call it. Listen, you had that moment, like, listen, like you just having that conversation with yourself where you're just like, where we going with this? Because I'm fucking tired. I am exhausted. Where are we going with this? Oh, this is supposed to be a game, and I'm supposed to be having fun. Like, what's going on here? Okay, but anyway, so yeah, listen. So yeah, that's the end of the video. That's the end of the video. And for those of you where the journey ends here, as far as this video for today, thank you, and I love you because I have no reason not to. And please enjoy the rest of your day or night. And for the rest of you, please join me, walk with me over here to the right as we go into the bonus content. All right, and that's coming right on up. All right, y'all, welcome to the bonus round. Yes indeed. I just need to, I'm not even gonna bother y'all with it. I'm just gonna put it on my podcast. You know what, I'm gonna do a podcast episode right after this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a few more episodes for season 3. I think so. Yeah, I think I'm being called to do so. Okay, y'all. So we're gonna do like, I think I'm gonna start doing like mini reads. I think doing like multiple readings a day may be also a little draining. And I haven't, you know what? I have a confession to make. I haven't been grounding like I was supposed to either. So that might be. I'm just tired, y'all. I'm just tired. Okay. I am tired. Not of y'all. Not of this. It's just, I'm just a little exhausted. Like, I don't know what's going on with me. I'm just. And I slept. I got great sleep. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with me right now. But yeah, I figured it out. Don't worry. I will figure it out. Maybe it's something with, I don't know, the planets, like I was saying earlier. And so yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna rant on my podcast. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna vent on my podcast. So if y'all wanna hear that little rant, because I'm not gonna make you hear it here. If y'all wanna hear that, y'all go into the description below and get the title of the podcast and things like that, and go check out the podcast, y'all, on multiple platforms. I almost said flatforms. Platform. Okay, I'm just over here inventing stuff. Okay, y'all. So we're gonna do like a little mini read. I'm gonna try my best not to because every time I say it's not gonna be that long, like to myself before I start, it ends up being even longer than I expected. So I'm gonna try to keep this as a mini read though, I think today. Yeah. So my apologies, y'all. Y'all, I'm tired. We family now, okay? I'm trying. I'm not gonna bore y'all with the details on here, okay? Especially after you just had a video that done brighten your day, you know. But you know, anytime I tell a story, even if it has like sad details, I make it funny though. I don't know. I try to, because I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's get straight into it. So we have Son of Knives. Listen, it's a lot of like payback, like what goes around comes around. And I'm really getting that you're gonna have either a sense of it, or you're gonna be able to see it like front row seat maybe, or you may hear it secondhand that something happened to somebody. And I'm gonna tell you now, go ahead and start practicing on how to not be happy when something like that happens to somebody, because you know I don't want you to feel guilty, because you're a good person. I don't want you to feel guilty later on. So just go ahead and practice now, because people might be getting their get back, and you know for a fact it's because they messed with you, or they bothered you, or they hurt your feelings, or they did something to you, and you know you didn't deserve it, and you know what they got coming, they kind of sort of deserve it, but at the same time you don't want to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? So we got 7 of baskets and 8 of baskets. So we climbing. Okay, we climbing. I see it. Yeah, because you're moving on up to the east side. Yes, finally got a piece of the pie. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little delusional, y'all. I'm a little out of it. Okay, but yeah, Freeman again. Like this is, I don't know. I'm starting to think, and the Freeman in my ancestry deck is almost like it's the same thing. Ain't no almost. It's the same thing. It's like the Fool card, right? So listen, it may be the theme of the year. Like it's a whole lot of steps you're taking. Like you're a brand new person, caterpillar butterfly. You are brand freaking new. Like you really are coming into yourself, and it's nice. It's nice. It's like you're reintroducing yourself to yourself. Ace of Knives and Ancestors. Dang, Ancestors came out again, y'all. Now Ancestors been coming out like the past 3 weeks. Like what we got going on. Like what we got going on. I think the Ancestors are really like celebrating, and they're really proud of y'all. Like, oh my goodness. And if you ever get a feeling like you hear them, or you hear like your name being called, because I don't know about y'all, it's a lot of things we were told or taught when we were children, and they really made it like scary, or they made it like they demonized it, right? And I know it was a lot of experiences they used to explain to me as a kid, saying that if you experience that, then that means this, or it's supposed to be scary, like the witch riding you, or if you hear someone say your name, it's like it's negativity, it's like the devil calling your name, or some shit like that. Listen, you must go ahead and throw all those little folktales out the window. Because at the end of the day, though, I kind of get it. because a lot of people were scared of things that happen. And some people answer calls that they're not supposed to answer, because you're not supposed to answer every voice. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it depends on what frequency you're operating on, though. I feel like if that, they probably knew someone, like say for example, that was your uncle and he had that experience as a child and he wasn't the best child and he answered the wrong calls and it had him, you know, he was following the wrong leadership, and we'll just say that, and just example, and he followed the wrong leadership and he ended up doing stuff, and he was always doing stuff that he had no business doing, or whatever the case may be. And so that's what I feel like a lot of times, because you know, people didn't know what was going on back then, because you know, they were lied to as well. And, you know, a lot of times these lies were made up to keep people from tapping into their powers, because these are different stages you go through, right? And the more you go up in certain levels, the more powers you start to get, so the more things and stages you go through. So I think a lot of these were made up and replaced by other certain things within like religions and stuff like that, and they were taught that way to promote fear. So when you got to that level, you go down a few pegs, because now you're afraid, and you know you're not supposed to operate off of fear, right? You're not supposed to make fear-based decisions. So it kind of makes sense, you know, for them to make up stuff like this. Oh, we had one fly out just now. Dr. Grant. Hey, Dr. Grant. Okay, so yeah. So, ooh, that was looking kind of... So yeah, it's like, bro, so it's like, plant the seeds that you have. Like at the end of the day, if let's say you have a garden, right, are you gonna let some stranger come and just start planting seeds? Ooh, I don't know where that came from. But ooh, I like that. But would you? Let's say you got land, right? Got a brand new house and everything. You got all these things going on, like everything's going nice. And this strange man, and they not giving you a good vibe either. They ain't like a good, like just friendly person that just trying to help you. No, it's some strange dude just comes along. You getting a very weird vibe. He act like he don't hear you when you telling him to get off your property, and he just starts planting these weird seeds, bro. The seeds look weird. He looks weird. Like, not saying that you should judge a book by its cover. I'm just saying, like, the whole vibe is off. You know, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's not there to help you. You know this. You can tell that they're not here to help you. Would you let someone just come plant seeds? Okay, well, don't let people just come and plant seeds. Don't let people just come and give you misinformation. You know, and some people, they doing it because they care. Some people, they do it because they may have certain belief system, but, and don't get me wrong, sometimes it holds a little weight to it, and it's nothing wrong when someone feels a certain type of way and that's the only way that they can communicate. That's one thing. Like, if they only using like what they know or what they got because they're getting a feeling, and that's the only way they can get the message across to you because that's the information they have within them, that's different. That's completely different. That's a whole nother thing, right? But if you just have someone that just don't know nothing about nothing, and they just raining on your parade, baby, because of this, that, and the third, that don't hold no weight, please don't let these people plant seeds in your garden. Please. That's what I'm getting. Like, look, plant your seeds, you know. If you're working on like a little barter system, you know what I mean, and you trading with other people, you trading knowledge and information with other people, everything doesn't have to be correct as long as it's coming from the right place, as long as the intentions are well. You take that, and it's just like getting anything from anyone. You're going to, like, say for example, you get some fruits or some vegetables for someone, you're going to clean them off, right? You get them from the store, it don't matter where you got them from, you're going to what? You're going to want to prep them, you want to clean them first before you just take a bite out of it, right? So do that with any type of information you get, or whatever advice you get from somebody, or whatever the case may be, is what I'm getting. And then we have the father of Nas, who's also come out multiple times. I don't know what's going on, but it's nice though. It's nice though. Like, you really out here being brand new in a good way. It's like you really starting to come into yourself, and you starting to feel like, you know what? I like this. Like, Earth's not that bad. Like, this dimension, this experience is not that bad. It's like you can it's more tolerable. You can tolerate a few more things, not bad things. It's just now you're starting to see things for what they are, and you know, you're starting to come into this idea. You're starting to come into, you know, using more of your imagination, more of your intuition. It's like things are really starting to flex for you. Okay, they're really starting to bend and get a little bit more flexible, and just as long as you don't force it, you know what I mean? Just don't force it. Just go with the flow, and please be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Do not sit up here and be doing all this research, having yourself trying to learn 4 different things at one time and get mad at yourself when you can't master nothing. Like, let that go. Like, oh, let yourself breathe. Give yourself a break, honey. Give yourself a break. Okay, your brain can only do but so much. Give it time to rewire. Give it time to rewire. Take your time. There's nothing wrong with dipping and dabbing, because maybe you do have that particular mindset where you like to focus on multiple things. There's nothing wrong with that. But you do have to be patient with yourself as you're picking these things up. You know what I mean? Because it's like, when you're, especially, let's go back to, I don't know where gardening keeps coming up. But let's go back to like gardening, right? When you are gardening, right? And you planting multiple seeds, sometimes those different seeds, depending on what you're growing, have different needs. Like, you can't grow them all the same way. They're not going to all sprout around the same time. I mean, you have different seasons, different temperatures, different environment. Like, some of them you have to water differently. Like, you have to keep that in mind about yourself. Okay, keep that in mind about yourself. You can plant the seeds there, but you need to be patient, and you need to tend to each part of yourself differently. Okay, so when you're trying to pick up on certain things, like, give yourself time. Maybe some things you have to read about, maybe some things you don't. Maybe some things you have to watch a video on, maybe some things you don't. It's like, don't just put all your eggs in one basket. Don't just put yourself in one category, because a lot of times you're like, well, like me, for example, I'm a visual learner, right? But some stuff I really don't stick until I read it. Some stuff I really actually do have to read something on it. I have to Google it or something, or I have to buy a book on it, or it depends on what it is. I figured that out. But I prefer visual, right? I prefer audio, right? Because depending on what I'm reading, I might get bored. But it depends on what I'm reading about. So I discovered that about myself. So yeah, so it's like, be patient with yourself. Like, you've been lied to all of your life, depending on who you are. Some people are, lucky enough or blessed, to the point where they get a little head start. Some of us not so much. For the most part, as a whole, as far as how this planet operates, we've been lied to. So you have to pretty much get to know what you are and who you are as a human and operating this body or a body. So you really do have to get to know your damn self. Like, you really don't know yourself. You really don't even know, like, I know, listen, I ain't seen nobody fly past my house yet, so there's a lot of people that have yet to tap into their powers. Like, we have so many abilities that we have not even scratched the surface. We haven't come close to yet. So us as human beings, like, we haven't gotten this down yet. We've barely scratched any type of surface. We barely even found the damn surface. So give yourself time. Give people around you time. Be patient. Be very, very patient. Please be patient. It's like, enjoy the ride. Okay? Enjoy this ride. We don't want to move too fast, because then we get bored. You know how that goes. You get bored once you mess something. You get bored. You were super excited. I don't know about y'all, but it may have, well, I know with me, it may be, well, they say it's like an ADHD thing. But it's like you get real into it. You master it, and then you're bored. And then you don't know what to do. And then you feel stagnant, and then you repeat the cycle. But it's like, as long as you're enjoying it and you know what you're there for, your intentions are good, then it's like, okay, you tend to flow through things a little bit more often, right? Take your time. Time is fluid. Everything is going to happen the way you want it to happen. You shape your reality. So get to know yourself. Get to know your body. Get to know your mind. Okay? And everything will work out. Like, everything is going to be dope. So, yeah, guys. So, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you for being here. Don't forget to check out the old podcast. You know what I mean? And yeah, and that's pretty much it. Like, I wish y'all all the best. I really, really wish you the best. Like, for real. And I love you all, because I have no reason not to. And until the next episode.